What is up, hotties? Welcome back to another Stay Hot live stream. I'm Blaiden Kirkland, as always, by at least one of my favorite co-hosts of all time, Matthew Spawnhour. Theo should be en route. He said he had something to
Yeah,
deal with.
hypothetically.
In theory, he will be here eventually. Um, he had some stuff to do, and he said he probably wouldn't be done until a little bit after when the live starts. So he might get here at some point. We have our fingers crossed. But Matt, how are you doing on this wonderful, what is it, Tuesday evening? Oh, we just lost Matt. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Great hair, Matt. Yeah, I mean, Matt does have some fantastic hair. I cannot lie. Sam Darnold QB1. Why do you guys hate Theo? Man, we don't hate Theo. We
Yeah, man. So, someone tried to call me and I hit the decline button. It's like, no, I think you're going to accept that actually.
Oh.
But I'm doing good. I'm back in Cincinnati. Um, I'm back in Cincinnati, so that's good.
That is good. Except your
And
Wi-Fi is not ready yet,
well,
so
the Wi-Fi is not up yet, but you can't have everything.
you
So
can try.
it's a process.
Yeah, it is a process. Yeah, everyone's loving your hair in the chat.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Well, I told you my favorite hat is like no more. So I have to start getting good haircuts now and not wearing hats. And I went
Matt
to a new guy and he did a great job. Shout out Charlie at Cincinnati Bishops.
Matt finally retired the Gehenna
Dude, it's
the,
it's
the
it's
Gehenna
so
City
messed up,
hat.
man. It's so beat up. I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I have it over on my dresser.
W. Bladen, do you know how to play the Stay Hot theme on guitar? I do. I'm not going to play it right now, but we have a video on TikTok, on the Stay Hot TikTok, where I did play the Stay Hot theme. So if you go and scroll through, you will eventually find it. I can confirm. Is Matt's home ready? I think the home is like done except for the Wi-Fi, right?
No,
Like that's
no,
no, it's not.
no. The kitchen is like entirely not done, but I'm
Oh,
here. So yeah.
okay. What you just don't you so you can't make any food?
I don't have an oven outside of that. I mean, I have a
Do you have?
fridge and a
Oh, okay,
microwave.
okay. So that's like you're living the hotel life right now, basically.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, you could be like, oh, well, I wouldn't move in until it's complete. It's like I've already been out of here 3 months, man. So if you disagree, walk a mile in my shoes. How about? And then you won't hate on me. Come on, man. I'm glad to be
Fair
back.
enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. We're glad that you're back. All right, guys. Ask us some questions in the chat, and we'll
And I
answer
can't
them.
see them because I don't have any Wi-Fi and I got to be on the Zoom. But
Yeah, it's okay.
Bladen can.
I'll make sure to read them. I'm actually gonna lie to you about what questions people are asking,
Oh,
and you're just gonna look like an idiot the whole
yeah,
time.
probably. Yeah,
No, but did you see the NFL released their rule changes for this season?
yeah. So they're gonna let people wear zero. Cool, great.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong opinion about that one.
Hey, the only thing that surprised me was the QB sneak not getting nerfed a little bit. Jalen
I'm not
Hurts,
stunned that it didn't.
really?
I'm not super stunned, no, I guess. I mean, what would they have done? Maybe at one point I said that I thought that they were going to, but I think it's a little bogus because it's so hard to tell where the ball is on those and like where the runner is. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll assume you got it, but you know,
I'll
that's the way that it
assume
works.
I'll give it to you.
That's yeah. I mean,
No,
um,
he squats 600 pounds. That's why he gets it every time.
I think it's crazy though. So okay, so you can pile up as much as you want on offense. You can stack up and do all that shit, right? Can I do that defensively? Nope. Banned on field goal block. I think that's suspicious.
Yeah.
If they can do that, I'm allowed to make one big long kindergarten line on a field goal block and everyone push.
That was like one of those like I think we were back in like middle school. We used to draw up those like fake football plays. It's just like the
What is
the
it?
the
10
long.
handoffs in a row.
He's got a line of
And then the
dudes.
last guy runs for a touchdown.
Right, exactly. No, it's actually just a really long like pitch play. Like there's 9 lead blockers. Quarterback takes the snap, pitches it 40 yards backwards, and then he runs 80 yards for a touchdown every single play. Calvin really wearing zero. Matt, thoughts on new Lana Del Rey? Did Lana drop
I
new
haven't,
music?
yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, so I have no thoughts on it at all at the moment. I'm very sorry. But I've been really busy the last couple days,
Okay, fair
moving
enough.
back in and shit. I'm very sleepy right now, unfortunately, because of it.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, because I know you had to move like a bunch of stuff. So I definitely can understand that. Matt, what is the worst college team that if you throw Mahomes on, they will win the chip?
Damn,
The
I don't
worst
know, man.
college team.
The
Okay,
worst
so
college team,
let's
if you put
we can work we
Mahomes,
can literally just work through like obvious
not
if you put them on like an SEC team. If you put them on an SEC team, they're most of them he's probably winning it on, right? Like Bama, Georgia, Florida, like the
I
general.
don't know, man. I actually think the number is like not that high.
Really?
Yeah, man. I think I don't know. Because the biggest carry, I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen Cam pull it off with a pretty bad team, and that was pretty 1-to-1. I'll say this: the general rule of thumb and the NCAA is that you can't win a championship if at least 50% of your recruits aren't 4 or 5 stars. I'd say any school that is not meeting that rule now would still not win a championship with Mahomes.
Mm.
And maybe there's some like 45s or 40s, but once you get down there, I'm sorry, like if your players are bad, like how many games does Iowa win with Patrick Mahomes? Right? Like, I have no idea.
How many games does Miami University of Ohio win with Patrick
Very
Mahomes?
few.
I think they win all of them, to be honest. The only thing that's holding us back right now is that we don't have any
Actually,
quarterbacks or
actually,
receivers or.
I guarantee you that that team would not win the national championship.
Yeah,
You guys would not play the schedule to get into the top four as a MAC team.
that's true. That's true.
So you can eliminate like 30 or 40 teams right there, like Sun Belt,
Yeah.
um,
So it
Mountain
has to be a
West.
team that's
Most
like already ranked, probably.
if it's gonna be a group of five, if it's a Power Five team, it totally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And an AAC team, but then now it's all Big 12 and it's all changing, and who knows? That's a good question.
It's a fun. Not Matt tried to compare Cam Newton to Patrick Mahomes.
All right, well you give me a better comparison of a quarterback carrying a not very good
Stetson
team in
Bennett.
college football. Right.
Hamburger University. Is that what? Where are you seeing? What? I don't know, man. South Dakota State winning the chip with Mahomes. So true, guys. Thoughts on Trey Lance news? What Trey? I didn't see any Trey Lance news. Did you?
What, that they're just like sort of like low key considering trading him.
Oh,
I think he's going to start week 1.
that they're like Brock Purdy's like leading the race to start right now.
I think they're just saying that. It'd be stupid to.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. There's gonna be a QB battle unless they like trade for Lamar, I guess.
They're not going to do that, I don't think.
Trade trade Lance and Purdy and 2 first-round picks for Lamar. Done deal. It's happening.
I can't see it. I'm interested to see how this Lamar stuff plays out the rest of the season.
It's really it's so bizarre. And I see a lot of people bring up like the injury concerns, which like
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's valid, but like Kyler has injury problems and he's getting more guaranteed than Lamar was offered. Dak, same deal. Um, I guess I wouldn't say like Allen's like an injury prone
I
back.
think that's an unfair way to look at it.
You do?
I do. In fact, I saw somebody the other day say like, "Oh, well, Russell Wilson gets this big deal, and they trade 2 first-round draft picks for him, but that can't happen for Lamar." Well, hold on. The Russell Wilson deal is a bad deal. We've been talking here for a while about should you pay
Right.
these quarterbacks this huge money? Now that a team is actually maybe considering not doing it, I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, well, then why aren't they just doing what everyone else does? Well, maybe they have a different type of thinking. Now, I'm not saying that's right, and I'm not saying Lamar doesn't deserve his money, but I I am also in the camp right now that if something doesn't it totally doesn't make sense to Lamar Jackson stuff right now, right?
Yeah.
Then there's probably something we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think everybody jumping to the conclusion that it's just like the NFL, they're just being like dumb and evil. I don't know. I can't. I think if there was like a great quarterback there and there wasn't something that like preventing those teams from going after Lamar, I honestly think they'd just be doing it anyway. I think them not doing it tells me that we don't know about what we don't really know specifically what Lamar is asking for. We don't know specifically what the Ravens have offered. We don't know specifically what the Ravens are asking for in a trade. We don't know if they're like we'll match no matter what if you make a deal and you have to like waste your time going through that and giving up the 2 first and then it just gets declined anyway because the Ravens can match and we don't know. It's a complicated situation. So I'm
Yeah.
still in wait and see mode with it, but it definitely doesn't make sense now. And maybe it could be that NFL owners are colluding, and that wouldn't be good.
Collusion.
But I think there's also a real possibility that's not it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the whole like how much should you pay quarterbacks in relation to the cap is like an interesting point because obviously the best time we always mention the best time to win a Super Bowl is when your QB's on like his rookie deal. But then like the Ravens couldn't get any receivers that were actually high level guys on that team because they had a an offensive coordinator that was what maybe the worst pass game coordinator in football. Right, just completely scares off any prospect of getting new receivers. So like now you're to this point and it's like, well, what is the easier thing to do? Is it or I maybe not easier, maybe that's not the word, but like you have to now choose between do you start the quarterback search over or do you recognize okay, we have this guy. It's going to stink now that the team building is going to get a lot tougher paying him, but it's either that or we now have to find a new quarterback.
Well, a lot of that depends also on what you're hearing from Lamar, and unfortunately, we don't know that specifically.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think the bridge between Lamar and the Ravens is pretty close to burned at this point. Lamar coming out and saying that he requested a trade, I think is like that's going to be close to the last. I don't know if that will be the last straw, but I don't see him playing there next year.
I think it's still incredibly likely he plays there next year.
I don't
He is.
know.
He is. I mean, no one's trading for him. Nobody's like doing it.
No, I and like even if he's on the team, I think he would just sit out. I just don't think he would
I
play.
don't know.
I think he would say, okay, if the Ravens aren't gonna like, if the Ravens can't get a deal done, whatever, I just won't play, and then you'll just have to let me walk for nothing.
Yeah, I think you could do that, but I think this is very much could turn into a Le'Veon Bell situation. I'm sitting out
Oh,
because the deal isn't what I want, but like there's no guarantee you will get the deal that you want. And we
right.
don't know specifically what that is, but if it's a huge, fully guaranteed thing, I think there's a really good chance that he doesn't.
Yeah, the Le'Veon Bell deal is that's a pretty good comparison, I think.
So I don't know. I don't think the bridge is burned. I don't think requesting a trade is necessarily the end of days. But it's not good.
Debo, I I was thinking about the Debo thing too, but Debo's was, and I was talking a little bit about this on TikTok about like super versatile players requesting a lot of money because it's like, well, you're going to use every ounce of my skill and use me in so many different ways that puts my body at risk. I need to be compensated for that, right? McCaffrey being like a receiver and a running back, and then there was Debo, and Debo was, being used in the run game a lot as well. And he was like, listen, I'm either going to have my role reduced or you need to pay me adequately. And I think this past year we saw his role kind of be taken a little bit more of a step back, and we saw Ayuk get more heavily involved in that offense as well. So maybe that's something that can be discussed with Lamar, but I don't think he's at that point anymore. He's like, well, this is how I've been used, so this is how I expect to be paid.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
But
think
yeah.
it's a mess, and we don't know all the details.
Yeah. Stay Hot is finished without TikTok. I don't think we would be finished. I think
No,
I think we'd be okay.
I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, I don't want that to pass. I don't think it's right, but
No. There's other problems with that bill too, not even just TikTok. There's like the language and some of the other stuff that it prohibits is really dangerous going forward. But I don't know.
yeah,
And then there's Twitter and that
yeah. And then there's
nonsense.
the stuff with Twitter, and it's
Paying for Twitter Blue. Insanity. But it might have to get done. I don't know. Let's see. Stay Hot going to be eating some very authentic Chinese food soon. Or
yeah,
get ready
yeah.
to
It's
learn Chinese, buddy. I guess. Who's the bigger bust, Zach Wilson or Josh Rosen? I
we were
mean,
talking about that the other day, weren't we?
where we were, we were talking about that.
I
It's
think Wilson had more hype. He played a few more games, but Wilson had more hype. And Wilson's just totally done after like 20 something games. Rosen was done. I think he got like almost a full season, and then he got like three, and then it was in year two, and it was the cane for him. But
right.
Rosen was the 10th pick. Wilson was the second. I think those are wildly different things. So I would say Wilson to me is
Yeah. I would probably lean Wilson. I mean, maybe if there's a world where Wilson gets traded, at that point we can then like analyze like the difference in what value they went for.
I don't know if that really
But
matters.
maybe not. But as far as
And
like the outcome is like what they drafted him for and how like successful they were for the team that they were drafted for. I think yeah,
and both of them were
Wilson.
just not good quarterbacks
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
The only difference is that the Cardinals happened to get the number one overall pick the next year, and then we're in position to get a different quarterback. And after only 1 year, you could still get a little bit for Rosen, whereas after two, for either of them, you wouldn't be able to get anything.
I guess yeah, that's fair. And there weren't other quarterbacks available for the Jets to draft last year. They're not taking Matt Corral.
Right.
So, and I would have taken Matt Corral,
You
but
may
then
have.
QB1 in my book. Should the Falcons trade up for Richardson? Ritter's the guy.
They could. I think it would cost a lot, but I kind of think that if he falls to three, I would really think about it. I like Ritter a decent amount, but man, Richardson with his potential, it's tempting. And I wonder if you're Atlanta, because I expect Atlanta to win a fair number of games this upcoming year. I expect their run game to be real good. I think they'll be able to pass the ball a little bit better. I think Ritter's going to turn it on a little bit towards the end of the year. But
Yeah.
if Ritter doesn't end up being the franchise guy, you might look back and say, like, man, that might have been our chance to go get our guy. So I
Right.
don't know. I would seriously think about it.
But there's going to be quarterbacks next year that we expect to be pretty good as well. And if you're bad this year, maybe it's not the total end of the world.
I don't know. Caleb Williams looks really good. Everybody else is. I'm not the highest on Drake May, and I love Quinn Ewers, but like he was not good last year.
Yeah. I guess that's fair. There's a lot of teams that could be in contention to trade. We're definitely not done. I don't think seeing trades into the top 5 to get
I
a
think we could see
quarterback.
one more.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Arizona pick that's really available. I mean, Tennessee might be a team that wants to make a trade up. That might be the only one that really
I
sticks
don't
out to
know.
me.
I think their roster is like really far away right now.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
I
I
agree.
guess I guess I can't hate too much. I think that on the one hand, you building up the rest of the roster and then getting the quarterback, I think is hard to actually make work. But
Right.
um,
It's like if there's a guy there that you like and you might just have to do it, right? But it's hard also. I'm trying to think who else would even maybe Detroit. Maybe
yeah, I could. I would.
you would
Oh yeah,
for Richardson.
yeah. Golf is not the long term answer,
Oh, I mean,
and we know this. We know it.
obvious,
We've seen this play
obvious,
out for a Super
obvious.
Bowl team. And it's still and the offense is really good regardless, but it's not because Goff is some mastermind. He's like the 16th best quarterback.
Yeah,
If I could trade up for Richardson from 6 for a cheaper amount, I totally would do it if I were the Lions.
you have 2 firsts.
He won't be there. He won't be there at 6, and this is the chance to get a QB.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
he would actually be in a bridge situation where he could legitimately sit. He could legitimately sit.
the whole year.
Yep, he could legitimately sit the whole year, and this may be the only team that would draft him that could do that outside of the Seahawks.
Yeah, which I guess the Seahawks could also, but they did just extend Geno for 3 years.
Oh, they absolutely should too.
But I think I don't think the Seahawks would. I think they're content. Just
really, what makes you say that?
They signed Geno for 3 years.
Yeah,
You don't think you think they'd be like, oh,
you haven't. You're telling me you have seen zero news about the Seahawks looking at rookie quarterbacks?
Oh, I'm sure if someone was there at 5, I don't think they would trade up.
Really? They have 2 first-round draft picks. You don't think that they would move up 2 spots?
I don't know, man.
How much would that cost? A second?
I feel like they have
If I were the Cardinals, I'd like to move down to 5.
I just feel like you have other needs. Like there are other things I would rather address right now. Geno looked like a strong quarterback last year.
I agree. 30,
I
32.
I would rather address like
But if Richardson
defensive
falls
line.
to 5, then you feel differently?
If Richardson falls to 5, he's probably the best player to pick there. I mean, except for like Jalen Carter, but
giving up a second to go to 3 doesn't make any sense from a where they are as a team standpoint. That doesn't make any sense.
I guess that's fair. Maybe I don't know.
I'd think about it, and I would think about it. I would do it if I were the Colts too. Like Colts really need to do it. I think all 3 of those teams
the Colts trade up
could
to
very well and maybe should trade up and get a QB.
Yeah, I mean, if you're worried, like someone's gonna end up picking Levis too, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
I'm interested in like which teams have a high mark on Levis, and then it's like, I feel like there's not awful odds that we see someone to trade up to 3 to pick Levis, or even that the Panthers traded up to 1 to pick Levis. I wouldn't be totally shocked to see that. Is Levis worth the 4th pick? It's the what is it, the QB boost? Teams need a
no,
QB.
I don't think Levis is worth the 4th pick.
Teams will need a QB. You're gonna reach a little bit more to take a QB.
Yeah, I think even considering that,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think it's quite there
Oh well.
for him.
Yes, there's definitely guys in play though to trade up to 3 or whatever and make a play there. Well, what else are people? Theo's load managing for the draft.
No joke.
Theo has serious injury concerns. Did Rico take out Theo? uh, someone said they think Tennessee would be a great fit for Will Levis. I mean, I don't completely hate. I mean, I get they need someone I think with just a little more juice than Tannehill right now. And Tannehill also is extremely expensive. Tannehill might be a guy they are looking to trade, but I don't know if anyone would really
I think you're
take
pretty
on
far
that.
along in the process. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. I think Levis is okay. I think that's where they're picking is right around where I would pick Levis, but like I don't think that would change the world for them.
yeah.
I could see it though. I mean, yeah, if you want to start over at QB,
Tennessee has no future.
they don't have a very good future right now.
It's unfortunate. They had their window when they had AJ Brown and Derrick Henry was at his peak, and Tannehill was really efficient. I mean, at that point, that was their shot. The defense was good, but at this point, the team has run its course. It's over for them, sadly. Now you just got to rebuild. I would like to see them keep pieces of their defense together. I see people are saying, should they trade Simmons? I would like them to keep the defense together. I think the defense is really good. Um, but I mean, obviously, if you for the right price, anything should be available for them.
I don't know if I have a strong opinion about that.
Let's see. Will Arthur Smith, Dennis Allen, or Todd Bowles be fired if the Panthers win the division?
Yeah, I think there's a pretty decent chance that I don't think if the I don't know, man. I think all of those guys could be gone. I wouldn't fire Arthur Smith unless the team wasn't getting better, but I don't think he has
Yeah,
to win the division. Bowles, I mean, especially if we're looking at winning the division, like if you don't win, you probably have a losing record. I don't know. Bowles would probably be gone because I mean the Buccaneers are damn near a reset anyway. And Dennis Allen with the Saints, I mean, if they have like another 5-1 year, it's probably there's a good chance it's wraps or maybe he's in a situation where it's like 5-game tryout, and season 3, and then you're getting the cane
right.
if that doesn't go well immediately. But yeah, I think they're all in trouble.
Fair enough. I saw another question that I wanted to talk about, but now I don't see it. And this, Kenny Pickett for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, at this point, you're probably rocking with him next year. He was a first round pick last year, and he looked to make some improvement.
Yeah, I
next
would
year.
figure so. I don't think they're giving up on him.
No, I don't think they're giving up on him. But like,
Well, the way you know the way you phrased that.
No, I didn't phrase it any particular. I didn't phrase it any particular way.
Oh,
Matt.
you're probably not giving up on Patrick Mahomes. Probably not.
Probably not.
I think Jalen Hurts gets at least one more year. Would be my take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would give him the world.
Yeah.
No, but someone was asking, do we think Pickett's the guy? Like
I don't know. I thought he looked okay in his rookie year. I thought he looked okay. We'll see if he improves in his second season. I think that's what it really comes down to. And if he's not looking like an actual plus player by the end of year 2,
yeah,
I stick with my guns here. It means he probably will never be one. But he seemed to be, the arm was never crazy with him, but he seemed to be like playmaking a decent amount. They would be served well by getting a better offensive line and securing the run game a little bit for him because it's been tough sledding for that for a while. But I don't know. I didn't think he was that bad.
No, he pulled it together a little bit towards the end. Deshaun Watson on the hot seat. I mean, you have to pay him regardless. So
Yeah, I mean, even no matter how terrible he is, like
we're on the
he's
hook.
getting yeah, he's playing next year
Right. So,
and the
I mean,
year
there's,
after and probably the year after. So no,
yeah, I mean, ultimately, what the Browns will probably do to fix the cap situation that they're in right now is extend him and then restructure him so that the guaranteed is like the cap is like 20 million a year, but then we have to have him on the team for another 6 years. Will be like the
if he looks good after this season, yeah, there's a real chance that's what they end up doing. And I think it's very likely they keep doing that as
but
long as they
even but
possibly can.
even if he looks bad, like because that's the only way that you could like save some money or like even open up a potential trade option to like get a team interested just for the sake of like, well, it's not the most devastating contract ever now. Um, I just don't see a world in which they don't just restructure into oblivion. Because I mean,
Yeah.
a cap hit over $60 million, you cannot possibly stomach that. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, so they're gonna restructure it. As long as he looks good this year or like next year, as long as things start trending the way you expect them to, they'll restructure it and then keep restructuring it until the money does.
Package would Luca command? Do you think Luca could get traded?
Yeah.
What do you think he would go for and where?
7 firsts and a really, really good prospect and probably another relatively serious prospect.
Damn.
Um, I think I think if the Thunder were like Chet, Giddy, and then picks, but I think both those guys we would go way less than 7 first. But I think if I were the Mavs, that's what I would ask for: Chet, Giddy, and picks.
Damn.
Yeah, well, he'd be one of the most valuable players ever traded. So
Who would Oklahoma still have?
Shea, Williams, whoever they could get somebody this year.
Okay.
Mostly Shea and Williams,
Mostly Shea.
and it will be
And
Trey
then
Man time as far as I'm concerned.
Trey,
Certainly, he
man.
will start playing good.
That's what they're saying, man.
Is what they're saying.
Can't believe no Theo Ash NFL today. This is heartbreaking.
I believe it.
I can't believe it. Dear Blaiden and Matt, will we get more draft prospect interviews? I would say the odds at this point are low. The draft is a month away, and we don't have any news of it happening. Um, but if there's any draft prospects that you guys know of that would like, that you think would be interested to come on Stay Hot, we're probably open to it. So I don't want to speak for Theo or Matt even, but
You want to go ahead and wrap this one early? I'm pretty gassed.
yeah, I figured you're been dealing with your house. Go take a nap, Matt.
I might have to.
We'll survive with the 10 minute short live. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Been an absolute blast. Answered some of your questions. We will be back with another episode talking about some receivers in the next draft analysis podcast. And as always, from Corn Boy, Bird Boy, Lemon Boy, we will catch you all on the flippity flop.